Good afternoon from Yami B TV and welcome to Daytime Stories. Now, the news filtering through in the last hour or two is an old friend of mine and a man that I looked up to in my childhood has been found dead in tragic circumstances. So rest in peace, Reggie Guts Davis, a living legend from Ladbroke Grove, who sang about with a craze on the inside of prison in the early days, much before my time, and a little bit on the outside as well. Most people would have heard or known who Reggie Guts was, but a tribute will be coming up for him very soon on Yami B TV. But it straight away I got into story mode, and I remembered a story with me that Reggie Guts was involved with in some way. Now, we go back to the early 90s, and I just only started smoking coke around this time. I was only out a short period of time, as usual, about 6 weeks, and I was in a real mess as soon as I touched this stuff. So after about 4 weeks of every day committing crime to fund that habit, I was up for 4 days once without sleeping. I was all alone. My trousers were hanging down. I was a mess. I looked rough. And I came out of this house in Mozart Estate, and there was a big circle of drug dealers, yardies, right? About 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning. So I can't see straight, my eyes are blurry. I want something to smoke because I want to stay awake, because I didn't want to fall asleep in where I was, right? So I was just going to hope to get an eye opener, and then go somewhere where I could sleep in peace, so to speak. When I got there, I approached one man and I said to him, give something for about half hour and on tick, basically. Normally, in them days, early days, when I first started changing, I would have liked him to have been on his own, so that when he took out the parcel of drugs, I might have given one and taken the whole thing while I was in this state of mind, right? But Reggie Guts was standing right next to him when I asked him for this favour. And he turned around and said, "No, you have to come with the money and all that." Reggie Guts said to this yardie geezer, right? He said, "Listen, give him one." He said, "Give him one because he could make money any minute and he'll give you more and buy everything off you." That kind of talk. He said, "No." I stormed off, right, because there was too many of them there for me to go all out attack to try and rob a drug dealer at that stage, right, at that time of the morning as well, and in the state I was. So I left for Harrow Road and somehow ended up in Marble Arch, which is the west end of London. So I've gone into these penthouse apartments. They're on top. It was on top of the shopping thing, Sainsbury's or Safeways or one of them. But they're called the Water Gardens apartments. Very rich, right? So I've managed to get through the door, the entrance door, that time of the morning, right? Luckily, and was fiddling about for a bit. Broke in to an apartment and found some Malaysian dollars, a Gucci watch, right? A coloured one. Never seen one like it at that time. But I looked at the back of it and I thought, well, I might get something for that. But I also noticed a pair of Harvey Nichols boots, right? But they were size 8. And I was thinking, ooh, they might fit me, kind of thing. So I put them in a plastic bag, basically. I'm buttering this thing up, right, at that stage. But I left quickly. So I thought, right, walk down the edge of the road to the bottom, and then you got Hyde Park to the left, Oxford Street. But before you get there, there's a Bureau de Change. So I was thinking, well, I've got a few Malaysian dollars, right? Didn't know how much they were worth, but I thought, well, at least I can get some cash and get a taxi and then make my way back and maybe sell the watch and then go and keep up the nonsense that I was keeping up. But I'm walking down to the Bureau de Change. I got to the door. And when I got to the door, remember, it's Sunday morning in Marble Arch, the West End. But it wasn't that busy, as you can imagine, for a Sunday morning. But I was still expecting to see a lot of people out, right? But just not as many as normal. But I'm reaching the front entrance of the Bureau de Change. There were 3 Saudi Arabian men facing the counter. I wanted, if I was seeing things, I was looking at the sign to see how much each dollar, like the signs for that gives you for the money for the Malaysian dollars. I'm trying to calculate in my mind, but on watching, I could see that there was £1,000 wrappers in cash, like a bundle, each bundle, being handed under the counter, and they had a pouch, a Samsonite pouch like this, right? So everyone they got, they were putting it in the bag. But I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And so I put the shoebox down, right? Down by the entrance. By the time the last wrap of the £1,000 bundles was coming through and put in the bag, I remembered someone saying to me in prison way back in the day, if you don't touch no one when you go to rob or say anything or words of violence or anything, it wouldn't be robbery, it would be theft. But I was thinking, Yami, you must be off your rocker, which you was. How are you going to make it through the West End? You've got no getaway cars. You've got nothing here. But anyway, I said, I don't care. I'm going to grab that because it's a big, big bundle. And I'm going to go for potluck, basically. So when the last wrap's gone into the bag, he was doing it really slowly, but they can't see that I'm behind them. So I've gone over the shoulder and put my hand on the bag like that and gone like that. And then pulled it and gone, right? They were in stunned disbelief. So I shot across the road, Edgware Road, and run across the road, and there was a car wash place or something like that. But two of them were giving me chase, but they were in clogs, and you could hear the noise of the feet on the concrete running, right? But I was running, but you know when you ain't slept, but I was fit them times, but in a real mess. But I said, listen, you got to go for this, Yami. But where you going to go? You've got hope that you bump into a taxi at that time of the morning. So I've gone across the road, done a left. One's already way back. And when I done a left, there was only one more. But he was still trying hard to get me. So I'm running up Seymour Place now, running towards Marylebone. This chase is going on for long. And I still can't see a taxi. So I've got to halfway between Seymour Place and Marylebone, right? And I done another left and I couldn't see him. So then a black cab came with a light on and I flagged him down, but I couldn't breathe properly. It was an old Cockney geezer from way back in the day, but I didn't know him. I got in the cab and I said, can you get me back straight to Mozart Estate, please? And no, can you take me to Mozart Estate, Harrow Road, West London, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, you all right? I goes, yeah. So I was in the back of the car, felt like vomiting and everything, right? I said, please go. So I'm in the cab, I'm thinking, how? Yummy, you've got this. Now to celebrate with the money, it's only going to probably kill me, right? So I've ended up going to Mozart. When I got out, I gave him a 200, because they were all green 50s them days. And I gave him £450 notes. I goes, thank you very much. He went like that. That's the biggest tip a man's ever given me. I said, yeah, thanks. If you only knew what favour it done for me, right? So I came back through, and there was only a few of them standing left there. But by the time I was walking to them, I took out one bundle and put it in my pocket, right, and zipped up the bag. I walked up to him, walked straight past that other dealer and said to Reggie Guts, get some 50s and all that, right? And Reggie goes, what? And he's telling the yardie geezer, see, I told you should have gave him. And he started like chips in his teeth and all that. And I bought all the rubbish and all that. And me and Reggie went somewhere for another few days and thing. But it was a kind of a great memory that I had there for Reggie, and I really respected him. But the tribute is coming up soon, and it's a story that he always told everyone in prison about me as well. God bless you, Reggie. Rest in peace. A tribute coming up to you for you very soon. And remember this, folks, for moves like that, if you know and you don't know, you wouldn't normally make it. You would have to get nicked, especially down arrested in the West End. And there has to be someone you bump into, have a go heroes. Imagine for that longest chase that I ever had in history, I never bumped into one single person. Sometimes it goes like that in that life.